I imagine there's no time to come down from that. And I mean, obviously you're going to have moments that aren't stressful like that, but it's not like you're doing a practice very mindfully to complete the stress cycle, as they call it, like
Yeah.
it never
I had
happens.
no tools.
Right. And, I don't think you should be doing that in a war zone. Like,
Right.
now it's time to decompress, fellas. You don't want to not be.
Yeah, that's for when you come home. But they didn't give me those tools when I came home either. And that's, the way, and I talked about this a little in the book, but there's an analogy that I've stumbled on lately for it. I'm not really a golfer, but I think the analogy works. You don't need to know much about golf to know that, there's all these clubs in the bag, and a good golfer uses different clubs for different situations, right? And that's kind of what our emotions are like in everyday life, right? Like, we have nuanced emotions, we have empathy, we have, sadness, we have all these things. When you're in a combat zone and you're regularly in, on a pretty much daily basis in a situation where you're like, okay, where are the doors? What happens if this guy pulls a gun? What happens if there's somebody coming from this door behind me? All that stuff. You really only need 4 clubs in your bag, right? It's like the emotions necessary to prepare yourself to take a life, which is like a low-level simmering anger sort of focus. There's boredom, because sometimes you're just sitting around, you're inside the wire and you're playing cards or whatever. You're tired, and there's you're homesick. And then I'd say 5, because sometimes there's gallows humor. You're just laughing your ass off.
Yeah.
And then you get home and you've stopped using any of the other clubs for a long time. You don't remember how to swing them, and they may not even be in your bag anymore. And now you're supposed to go back and fill your bag with these other clubs and start using them. But your brain is operating in a place where it's if we use these other clubs, we might die. That's what we learned. So don't use the other clubs. And so therapy for me was just learning how to reuse those clubs and believe that it was okay to use those clubs and that it wouldn't get me killed.